Hello, friends. Welcome to the presentation of The Long and Short of Failsafe Hiring. The book derives its insights and contents from my experience as a practicing recruiter at HCL Technologies, Saskin Technologies, running my agency at Spectrum Consulting, designing, developing, and implementing applicant tracking systems, and evangelizing LinkedIn. I consider myself extremely lucky to have been associated with HCL Technologies during its formative years. The beauty about HCL Technologies is the operational freedom that you enjoy. I consider myself lucky to have been mentored by four extraordinarily gifted individuals, G.K. Rao, M.N. Divakar, Sujit Bakshi, and S. Raman. Recruitment is a critical function. It affects the lives of individuals, and therefore, there is a great responsibility associated with it. The responsibility to gain respect lies with the recruiters. We, the recruiters, should be the change we wish to see. The book is holistic. The candidate is at the center of the recruiting ecosystem. It's applicable across all corporates and agencies, irrespective of the domains and industry. It is applicable to any volume, velocity, and complexity. People ask me if the book is limited to the Indian audience only. The answer is an emphatic no. The human aspirations are universal. The recruiting life cycle is a constant across the world. The principles of social are universal, and so are the automated tools that are prevalent across the world. And therefore, the book is applicable to anywhere in the world. The book consists of three parts: recruiting fundamental, tenets of talent acquisition, and appendices. In recruiting fundamentals, the first 6 chapters are focused on the recruiting life cycle. There are chapters devoted to communication, culture, cost, relationships, and metrics. Social media and LinkedIn hog a lion's share in the section on talent, tenets of talent acquisition. Transcending technological trends, staying tuned to change, equips any recruiting organization to face the ever-changing technological landscape. The Grand Illusions of Purple Squirrel and Thereabouts discusses the support that a recruiting organization needs to extend to the recruiters. The appendices are referred to from part 1 and part 2. The structure of the book is pretty much consistent. The cartoon embellishes each chapter. In fact, every chapter begins with a cartoon, and which is followed by a story, conversation, or a case study which sets the context for the theory. The theory is followed by a synopsis and a gist for the reader to pause and reflect on what he has consumed. The points to ponder: there are some exercises for the reader or the recruiter to enhance his understanding of the theory that he has actually consumed. The competency matrix consists of the knowledge, skills, and attributes that are required to execute each phase of the recruitment cycle. To summarize, the book helps the recruiter with actionable insights. How does the book help the recruitment organization? While the recruiter needs to display empathy with the applicant, the recruiting organization needs to display empathy with the recruiter. The book offers a comprehensive insights into how a recruiting organization can provide the necessary support to the recruiter. Who is this book for? There's a wide variety of people who can actually benefit from the book, including job seekers. We're now going to move on to the book reading exercise, where we will be reading excerpts from 2 chapters. One is a sample of the story, and second is a sample of the theory that is there in the book. Know that you are not in control. The interview tales. Hey Aman, what's up? I've been trying to call since morning. Long day, Suman. We had a walk-in drive on Saturday. Did you have a good time? Not exactly. Why don't we catch up today evening? Lloyd's Coffee House, 6 p.m. After a refreshing Sunday afternoon siesta, Aman was looking forward to meeting Suman. She seemed to be the only silver lining in his life. Relaxed Suman was all elegance as she arrived a few minutes late. After ordering their favorite cappuccino and latte, they settled down after general inquiries. Suman, being the extrovert, was the first to open up. Aman, it looks like you did not have a good time yesterday. What was the problem? Yeah, we ended up lining more than 150 applicants for the interviews for 3 positions and not a single selection. Oh boy, was it a bad lineup? Not exactly, Suman. Good guys turned up. Good test leads had about 12 years of experience. Ideally, the heads of Testing practice should have interviewed, but hell no, she wanted her test lead to interview the person first. Durjesh, the test lead, had only about 9 years of experience. On top of it, he does not have experience in automation testing. Whenever the resume had extensive automation experience, he had the applicants interviewed by significantly junior professionals. Oh no, oh yes, tell you what, there was a good resume. Durjesh did not know to make head or tail of it. So he went into his room and started Googling to understand portions of the resume and then started working on the questions to ask. I do not understand how the Durjeshes of the world manage to gain the trust of their leads. Hey, well, I guess this is the way of the world. By tomorrow, I should be ready for the song and dance. What's up with you, the corporate recruiter? Corporate Aman, yes, but still a self-funded, mid-sized company, you know, a different song and a different dance. I have my quota of frustrations with Richard. His years seem to be non-existent. He bends backward to support his engineering managers almost always. We had a review yesterday when I made it amply clear to Richard to get his act together and give me the necessary support. All the managers clamor for resources, but none of them are ready to come on weekends. Work-life balance my foot. Have you ever heard of this? My applicants only want to come on a weekend. The managers are not ready to come to the office on a weekend. We do face-to-face interviews for applicants who come to the office on a weekend, with managers at home on Zoom or Skype. I blew my top yesterday. Richard became defensive and started throwing figures at me, saying that the interview turnouts have been very alarming. I was in no mood to relent. I asked him if we did check on the Glassdoor ratings. I've been screaming at Richard to work on the Glassdoor to respond to those observations and accusations. He's taking a stance that those ratings do not matter. I wonder in which world he lives. I took pains to show him that some worthless companies orchestrate a very high rating on Glassdoor, despite their pathetic real-time practices. While it is necessary to take Glassdoor numbers with a pinch or sometimes even a lump of salt, it still has a propensity to influence an applicant to attend an interview or accept an offer. Good old Richard. Recruiting culture. What you sow is what you reap. Organization culture. Organization culture consists of shared values, beliefs, and assumptions about how people should behave and interact, how decisions should be made, and work activities carried out. Saying no, a quintessential cultural attribute. The inability to say no is a source of problems in life. Recruitment is no exception. The ability to say no is an important attribute that defines the spine of the recruiter. The inability to say no is a poor reflection of a recruiter's ability. It can lead to a loss of credibility. The recruiter must learn and cultivate the art of saying no pleasantly and emphatically. If the answer is a no to the hiring organization, they can look for other options. If it is a no to the applicant or the job seeker, then he can expand the scope of his search. Setting expectations can reduce damage. It is always a good practice to communicate bad news as soon as possible. This is the foundation on which credibility is built. The seeds of recruiting culture. Keeping in mind with the meaning of organization culture, here are shared values, beliefs, and assumptions about how recruiters should behave and interact, how decisions should be made, and how work activities should be carried out. When a job description is received, does the recruiter take enough time to understand and seek clarifications? Does the recruiter do the due diligence and provide the reality connects to the hiring organization about roadblocks? Does the recruiter set clear expectations about what is possible and what is not possible? Is it possible to serve as a requirement within 4 weeks when the notice period is between 4 to 12 weeks in most organizations? The top management does not understand it is a recruiter's job to educate them. Does the recruiter communicate when the availability of resources is low or the salaries are high? Hiring organizations can make appropriate decisions. They could revisit compensation. They could hire people who could get cross-trained. They could also let go of opportunity. When the recruiter approaches an applicant, does the recruiter check whether it is a good time to talk? The simple act demonstrates sensitivity and empathy. If the applicant is interested in the change, does the recruiter brief and disseminate the opportunity properly? If the applicant isn't interested in a change, does the recruiter try to understand the reason? Does the recruiter capture relevant notes while interacting? Refer to Appendix 4 for relevant insights on the importance of writing notes. After the recruiter disseminates the job description to the applicant, does he send a copy of the job description by mail? Does the recruiter communicate to the applicant that he is forwarding the applicant's resume to the hiring organization for a specific requirement and will get back as soon as he has some information? When the recruiter sends the resume, does he add value by writing appropriate cover sheets explaining in detail as to why the resumes are a fit for the requirement? The reader may recall the chapter, "Honey, the postman did just move on." Follow-through must be done at appropriate times. Feedback from the hiring organization must be read as soon as possible. The recruiter must remember to pass on the bad news as soon as possible. The applicant can look elsewhere. If the applicant is shortlisted for interviews, the recruiter needs to make sure all those loose ends are tied. The reader may recall know that you are not in control. If the applicant is selected and has to be offered, the recruiter will ensure that the offer is rolled out clearly. The recruiter should focus on total rewards. The recruiter should make sure that the applicant understands all the components of the offer. Once the offer is rolled out, the recruiter will maintain close contact with the applicant to take the offer to a logical conclusion. The recruiter may recall the chapter, The Litmus Test of Your Brand, offers various insights on how the recruiter would ideally handle the applicant. Recruiting culture, consistency in communication, capture of information, execution contributes to a great recruiting culture. Result, consistency leads to a predictable experience and stakeholder delight. Communication is the key to building that credibility. The points to ponder section follows that. A profession is a means to express oneself. A profession is one's identity, a gift. We may not want to take it for granted. As recruiters, we must delight our stakeholders and earn their respect. The summary and the spirit of the book is captured in the recruiter's oath. I deal with the careers of individuals and serve hiring organizations. My actions could irreversibly change their fortunes. I'm straddled with great responsibility. Integrity shall be the foundation of my competitiveness. I understand that recruitment is both an art and a science. I shall educate myself continually to serve efficiently. To ensure a robust recruiting culture, I shall hone my skills by diligently practicing the fundamentals. It shall be my endeavor to find the best fit applicant for any requirement. I shall move with alacrity and purpose. It shall be my objective to hire the appropriate applicant in the quickest possible time and at optimal cost. I shall keep my stakeholders informed of the progress. I understand that recruitment is not a numbers game, but an opportunity to forge a relationship with innumerable people. I hope to evolve as an enduring recruiter. The book is for the recruiter by a recruiter who cares. Thank you everyone for watching this presentation.